What's up, everyone? Back for another on location video, and I say that like I do this all the time, but it's been over 4 years since I've shot an on location video. Be honest with you, it's kind of weird doing it, kind of weird watching it, fantastic. But yeah, I am downtown Buffalo, New York at the Southern Tier Brewing Company location. They actually have 5 different locations. They have their original brewery in Lakewood, New York. They have brew pubs in Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Charlotte, North Carolina, and here in Buffalo. And the reason I'm here is because of this. Pumpkin Fest is what this is called. They announced this about a month ago, and what it is a staggering release of 3 new pumpkin variants. And how this works is you're going to get to vote on which is your favorite, the consumers that is, and then next year whatever wins is going to hopefully be bottled for distribution purposes, so you out there get a chance to try it. Now I know there's a lot of people out there watching my channel don't like pumpkin beers, but there's a lot who do, and I thought this would be kind of fun to do in on location review. So the 3 variants are Fire Pumpkin, Caramel Pumpkin, and Habanero Pumpkin. Fire Pumpkin is like Fireball whiskey infused pumpkin. I don't think it's actually Fireball whiskey, but it's just like a heavy cinnamon influence. Caramel Pumpkin is exactly what it sounds like, caramel infused pumpkin. And then Habanero Pumpkin is probably the most obvious, habanero peppers. So how this works, as you can see and read real quick, as it says, who will be the next to join Pumpkin's court? Order the pumpkin taste off a flight to vote. Order the pumpkin, step 1, order the pumpkin taste off flight. Step 2, taste test each new potential pumpkin. Step 3, circle your favorite new beer on your card, then add your name and phone number at the back. Step 4, give your flight card to the bartender / server to vote. So I have already ordered the flight. So it comes with OG Pumpkin, which is great. I wanted to get the base, have a better understanding of, again, this year's release. I mean, I've had that beer so many times. I've reviewed it. I've reviewed the Nitro version, but I want to know how the base is and then compare them. Warlock, which I think I'll review at the end, and then the 3. And here is the flight right here. And yeah, it should be good. Now, I don't know if you noticed this on my arm. I went for my, monthly blood tests for my blood thinners and whatnot, and everything should be okay. So anyway, I will be back in a little bit. I'm letting these warm up. They're about, less than 10 minutes removed from draft. I want them to warm up a little bit for another 10-15 minutes before I get into them. So we will see you then. Peace. All right, guys, back, and I am going to review / take a look at base pumpkin. Now, I've reviewed this, like I said, twice before. Once the regular, once the nitro, and I want to get a base for these 3 variants. And as usual, pumpkin looking, it has some condensation on it. Like I said, this is about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes removed from the tap, so not super cold anymore. So yeah, this has that burnt orange kind of color to it, very see-through. You can see through it. Because it's a flight, you're not going to get a big head, but it has like a off-white, creamy-looking head. But yeah, it's pumpkin. It's what it is. Yeah. So the first thing I always notice with pumpkin is you get that graham cracker-like crust, and then you get the spices: big nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice. Has a nice pronounced sweetness, like almost like a bready caramel kind of sweetness. Listen, every time I have pumpkin, it goes one or 2 ways depending on the freshness of pumpkin. Fresh, I get pumpkin pie in a glass, complete with the graham cracker base and the whipped cream. When it ages, it always turns into like a vanilla pumpkin cookie, if those exist. I'd imagine they do, because everything exists nowadays. But this is kind of in between that. I feel it's kind of starting to fade, even though this isn't a keg. Spices are starting to drop off a little bit. I'm getting more of that vanilla and that graham cracker, more of like a cookie, like pastry-esque kind of feel to it. Smells pretty good. Cheers. It's pumpkin. It used to be my favorite pumpkin beer, hands down. Over the years, it's becoming a little bit too heavy for me, maybe a little bit too intense to say it's my favorite anymore. I will say this. This is pretty good. It has like a medium body to it. Medium touch over medium. The mouthfeel, it's really crisp. It's effervescent. It's spritzy on the tongue. It has a nice smooth finish. The taste, it's basically what the nose would indicate. It has that vanilla whipped cream feeling. It has the graham cracker. Right up front, I get hit actually with the spice. There's cinnamon, there's allspice, there's nutmeg. And as it passes through, that's where the sweetness kind of hits. The vanilla, the graham cracker, the breadiness, the dough. Finishes with a mild bitterness, semi-dry, lean sweeter, but you expect that from this beer. 8.6%. I feel a little bit on the palate. I know it's a little bit boozy, but I'm actually not getting a warming in the chest, believe it or not. I thought I would. It's a solid, good Imperial Pumpkin Ale. That's what this is. 8.6%, as I mentioned. I forget the IBUs. I think they're like 30, 25, 30. Yeah, this is pretty good. I typically rate this one now around a 4 out of 5. This one's hitting me a little bit better, maybe because it's on draft and I'm enjoying it. I'd give it like a 4.1 out of 5. I really enjoy this one. But I will say that when it's fresh, I really like it. When it ages, I really like it. This is kind of in between those, but I think I'm just enjoying it for some reason. I don't know. So yeah, that was the base pumpkin, and we will be moving on to the first of the 3 variants momentarily. See you then. All right, back for the first variant of the 3 new pumpkin variants, and we are going to do the caramel pumpkin because I don't want to wreck my palate right away. So on here, we'll do tasting notes just to see if I get what they say. So this is they say smooth, rich, luscious caramel intertwined with cinnamon, nutmeg, and pie crust notes to deliver a chubby little slice of pumpkin heaven oozing with confectionery delight. I'm gonna need to settle down southern tier, but yeah. Anyway, this is basically caramel infused pumpkin. What I'm hoping for is a piece of pumpkin pie with whipped cream, a little bit of caramel drizzle on top. That's what I'm looking for. So this looks So here is the other pumpkin, and it is pretty much identical, maybe slightly darker. It has that, clarity. Same thing. You don't really generate a head, but similar head. Let's get those. Oh, that caramel. So picture like, when you go get the fudge, like the caramel syrup you can get in the jars that you warm up and you pour over. It's exactly what this smells like. Oh man, that smells fucking awesome. Delightful. And then you get a little bit of what did they say? Cinnamon, nutmeg, and pie crust. Nutmeg is definitely there. I'm getting a little bit of allspice. The vanilla and the pie crust, that graham cracker kind of feeling. Not as big. And, yeah, I don't know. It smells pretty good. Not much more to say about it. Cheers. That's nice. It's a nice, subtle... Ooh, hang on. I should take another sip. So this is exactly like base pumpkin with that caramel drizzle on top. It's a nice, subtle, not in-your-face caramel, but it's noticeable. So everything I said about the regular pumpkin, pretty much this is it to a T. I think this might have a little bit more spice. I'm getting nutmeg, allspice, and cinnamon, and it's a little bit more prevalent at the front of the palate as it passes through. Vanilla and caramel intertwine, and again, it's like whipped cream, caramel drizzle. 8.6%. I think this is a little bit smoother and not as noticeable with the ABV. Body's the same, higher side of medium, mouthfeel crisp, effervescent, smooth on the finish. This is a nice variant. I like this. Not trying the other 2 yet. If they actually come out with this one next year, I'd say give it a go and see what you think. Don't go into it thinking, well, again, this is probably going to change when they bottle it next year, assuming if they bottle this one. So you can't really say that, but like what I'm drinking right now has a nice smooth kind of finish to it, and the caramel is more of a subtlety. It's a nuance. It accentuates the base but doesn't step in the way. This is good. I give this a low 4.25. I'm going to go 4.2 on this one. I really enjoy this one. If you like pumpkin, you like caramel, I don't see how you wouldn't enjoy this one. So, yeah, not much more to say about it. It's pretty damn tasty. So we will be back momentarily with the fire one. We're going to leave the habanero to the end because it's going to probably burn the shit out of me. So, cheers. All right, back with the second variant of pumpkin, and this one is the fire pumpkin. So, again, we'll go to their definition or their description. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire pumpkin. I told you to settle down, Southern Tier. I don't think you are. The sweet heat of pure concentrated cinnamon ratchets up the intensity and provides a truly atomic pumpkin experience. Now, full disclosure, I like cinnamon, but when it's over the top in pumpkin beers, it's just not for me. I get like those cinnamon candy hearts or like a cinnamon big red gum kind of vibe where it just kind of dominates. I hope that's not the case here. We will see. So I always say don't go into preconceived notions, but sometimes you do, and this is one of them. So looks like the rest. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the appearance anymore because it literally looks like regular pumpkin. Let's get a nose. Yeah, I'm getting that big red gum, cinnamon candy hearts. Yeah, I mean, the cinnamon's there. The base I'm getting a little bit, but it's getting kind of lost. I think the cinnamon's kind of dominating. It's not over the top, but I think it's like kind of subduing and kind of pushing all the rest of the aromatics away. All right, it smells it's a little bit of like a vegetal earthy thing. Yeah, it smells okay. It doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell great. Let's get into it. Cheers. Yeah, exactly what I thought it was. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone. I think you're going to be on the either love it or hate it type of side of the fence. This is like Fireball whiskey, right, where you get that big cinnamon kind of vibe. That's what's happening here. I will say it's a little bit more reined in than I thought. I thought this was going to be punching me in the face with cinnamon. While it's definitely noticeable and the predominant note, it's not too overbearing, but I don't love it. I mean, these are all pumpkin, so higher side of medium body, you know, crisp, clean, it has a nice smoothness on the finish. So how do I start with this? This is kind of weird to kind of break down because that cinnamon is so, like, you know, it's there. I'd say the cinnamon has more of that, like, cinnamon candy, okay? Whether I say cinnamon big red gum, cinnamon candy hearts, any kind, picture any kind of, like, even like the little Fireball candies, right? Which they might actually name this after that as opposed to Fireball whiskey, but this is like Fireball whiskey because it's 8.6%. But anyway, yeah, that's the tasting note with the cinnamon. If you like that, I don't see how you would dislike it. If you don't, you're not going to want to touch this. For me, it's okay. You get that, it's predominant, it's on the palate everywhere. You get the base pumpkin, the other spices kind of thrown to the side, but I do get a little bit of that vanilla, that pie crust, the sweeter, doughy, bready aspect. With that cinnamon, this one definitely finishes more of like a semi to full-on dry finish. The bitterness of all the pumpkins are just, you know, they're mild. They're not over the top. I think this is making me perceive it be higher in alcohol because I'm getting that like cinnamon burn on the palate, but it's not. I'm not getting like any warming in the chest. This is what I'll say about this one. You like cinnamon and you like pumpkin, this would be your jam. If you don't like cinnamon and you don't like pumpkin, you wouldn't be drinking this. But if you don't like cinnamon, I can't see you really being a fan of this. I like cinnamon, you know, when it's done right and it's not overbearing. This, again, isn't as, like, intense as I thought it was going to be, but it's a little bit too much for me. Yeah, rating on this one, I'll just be honest, I'm going to give this like a high 3.25. I'll go like 3.35. That's the best I could do on this one. Yeah, the caramel one, by far, is better than this for me. I don't know if that's going to be the case overall, but for sure for me. Anyway, yeah, if you've had this or any of them, again, post in the comment section, let me know. But I would say right now, this is definitely a distant second to the caramel one. So we have one more of the habanero. We'll be back momentarily and see you then. All right, we're back for the last pumpkin variant here, and this is the habanero pumpkin. Let's look at the tasting notes real quick. It says, if you can't stand the heat, get your butt out of the kitchen. These perky little orange peppers look innocent enough, but habaneros pack a punch and put a pinch of pain in this pumpkin. So I am looking forward to this. Why I like pepper beers, and one of my favorite pumpkin beers that I've had in recent memory, Atomic Voodoo Ranger Pumpkin from New Belgium. I love that habanero heat with the pumpkin base. Kind of surprised me the first time I had it, and yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So again, very similar to the rest, kind of has that same look, good carbonation, the head, all the same. It's pumpkin. Let's get nose. Honestly, this is very muted. A little bit of that like nutmeg allspice thing. A little bit of doughiness. Yeah. Honestly, let's get into it because it's kind of muted, honestly. So cheers. So taste-wise, I'm going to wait for the heat, but I'm going to start talking taste-wise. Has that habanero, like, citrus kind of fruitiness to it. It's fantastic. Food's here, so time out. All right, we're back. The food came, and, you know, didn't want to interrupt. So, yeah, the first taste, the first sip, I noticed this nice, like, citrus fruitiness probably from the habanero. And then I got basically pumpkin after that. It had this nice, you know, the nutmeg, the allspice, but not as, I don't think as pastry-esque or like pumpkin pie-esque. Like I don't think the vanilla and the kind of the doughy kind of feeling to the beer, the graham cracker, is noticeable. There's a very slight lingering heat in the back of the throat from the habaneros, which is very enjoyable. Everything else say, this might be actually, take that back, I think the body might be a little bit more like medium, maybe a touch over, where the other ones are like, you know, over between medium and like low full. Effervescent, you know, crisp, smooth on the finish. Yeah, this is doing what exactly it should do. You're getting that little lingering burn. I'm getting a little bit in the chest, in the back of the throat from the habanero. Getting a little bit of the, you know, a touch of the citrus notes you get from habanero. Definitely better than the fire, but the winner is the caramel. The caramel, I think, encompasses everything you kind of want out of a pumpkin pie, and that's kind of what pumpkin is in general, especially fresh. I think that caramel drizzle kind of puts it over the top for me. Definitely the best variant of the three. The habanero one I do enjoy. If you don't like spice, you're not going to obviously want this one bottled next year. And if you're coming to any of their brewery / brew pubs and you're trying this beer out, you're not going to pick it up. But if you do like habaneros, I will say you do actually get a taste of the habanero and then the heat. I think by the end of this pint, the heat will build up enough where I'm comfortable. I don't think I'd want a pint of this specifically, but I have no problems giving this one. I give this one like a high 3.75. I go like 3.8. So the base was 4.1, caramel 4.2, the fire was 3.35, and this is 3.8. So the caramel is better than the base. The base, second favorite of the bunch, then this, and then the fire. That would be my order. I'm going to vote for the caramel. I think the caramel, as long as they do it how they did it here, I think people are going to enjoy that one if it comes out next year. It's exactly what it says it is. And it accentuates, again, the base of pumpkin, so I really like it. So I also have Warlock in this flight. I'm not going to review Warlock only because I've had it before. I've reviewed it before. It's not part of this, and I'm not going to review anything else. I just want to do a quick on location. It's been a while since I've did it. Huge thanks to Southern Tier for allowing me. I was like, hey, I'm going to set up, and they're like, yeah, that's awesome. Free publicity, and I'm like, that's right. But yeah, I'm going to eat my Philly cheesesteak that I got here. That's probably not a Philly cheesesteak, but it's a cheesesteak. It's probably good. And split this and with Pops. Average Pops, he got a beef on weck here, which is a delicacy here in Buffalo, New York. You don't really see it outside. We're going to split it. We're going to have a good time. And yeah, that's about it. So hopefully this came out. I guess we'll see when I am back home editing this one if I can actually post it. I hope I can, because I kind of want to get this one out and let people know that, hey, these are out there if you're in one of the 5 areas. And yeah, appreciate everybody stopping by for another On Location. If this comes out well, maybe I'll do some more going forward. Like I said, it's always kind of awkward. A lot of times it's busy. There's a lot of people. You're like, oh, hey, man, I got a YouTube video. I got to shoot one. And then they're like, what the hell? So we'll see. But anyway, appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.